Hello, everybody. Wow, that's the time. The music ended at like the perfect time. I hope you're all doing well. Took me a second to realize what this song was. But yeah, let's open my window. Maybe there'll be a hawk, the red-tailed hawk cameo that was last time. Oh my gosh, there's no way. Oh wait, is that a dove? Very ironically, there is a dove now replacing the position of the hawk. Where's my phone? I was gonna take a picture, um, because like the scale is now like I know how big a dove is, and so now that there's a dove there, I'm like, oh my gosh, that red-tailed hawk was huge. I thought it was much smaller, but no. Anyways, we are here. We are back, more importantly. And let's draw. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing okay myself. I had a big old job interview yesterday, and I'm one to say that it went okay. I it was the second round technical, both a verbal and a coding technical. I made a silly little accident on the coding technical, but it was nothing. I still got it right. It's just of the billion possible solutions, and mine was optimal for time complexity, but they were looking for something much more spatially complex or less spatially complex. Less space complexity. Oh my god, I've been streaming for a day and I've forgotten how to talk. Um, but yeah, I still think it went well. We laughed a bit. A lot of good communicating all around. Um, so I'd be very happy if I got this job. This is one that I would care about. Just a bit sad to say that I've had to apply to jobs that I have absolutely no intention of caring about, but I will do a good job nonetheless, because that's what you do a job for, right? Oof. A little jittery, but still relatively precise. Marathon came out today. Big day for art. Um, Trying to make it like a compendium of everything that happens tomorrow. February 27th is a big day. I think that's Bruno Mars's new album. I feel like there's another artist's new album. There's Gorillaz, which I'm super excited for. It's also just Friday. All that good stuff. So, and Freerun, of course, our weekly Freerun drop. We didn't get one last week because of the Olympics, because I guess Freerun was competing or something. Who knows? But yeah, I've been super ingrained this week into studying for that technical interview that I've had very little time for myself or for other things like classes and sleeping and stuff like that. So, I'm very much giddy to work on things, to make stuff. I'll always go back to the analogy of breathing in and out. I've done a lot of breathing in, holding my breath. Um, I've talked about how expectations can build while you're being worked to the bone. A little bit of I don't know, crunch, burnout, and maybe burnout. You aren't actually breathing. You don't actually have a bunch of breath. Um, Actually, no. I would say burnout. I'm definitely like in a more consumptive mood than wanting to make. So I have no breath right now. I have a lot of breath, proverbial breath, where I want to create stuff. I have one big drawing that I'm super excited for that I want to work on in my free time, but I have a lot of homework to catch up on as well. Whether that be my capstone, which is something I'm genuinely interested in, or just other classes. But we have the whole weekend. We have tomorrow and the whole weekend, basically. And a lot of next week. Some of my classes have been canceled for a bit. And not like a uh-oh way. Just, professors have things. Hey, I'll take it. I'll use every chance I can get. Nice. Life has gotten a little bit better. I was really stressed for that interview. I was doing I had a big chunk of the Elite Code 150, all the mediums, or most of the medium. No, okay. A lot of the mediums. I wasn't going to do like a ton of the Matrix medium stuff because, I didn't see that happening on the interview and it wasn't going to. Um, I did mostly just DP and like 2-pointers and stuff like that. More logically induced problems. Not that Matrix stuff isn't, but like Game of Life, the rules are there. It's just implementing it somewhat efficiently. It's going to be an O n squared algorithm no matter what. And like in my case, it was like O of 8n squared, which is still n squared, but you know what I mean. Maybe there's a more efficient way to get it down to like 3n squared, but still it's n squared. You have to visit every cell, I think. I don't think it's possible to do Game of Life without visiting every cell. Now there's some crazy smart people out there, maybe. Oh, yikes. Maybe they have a way. Ooh, should have ghosted a lot more there. I got an interesting message the other day. I've been holding off on talking about this in stream, and of course, Chatham House rule. I'm not going to say explicitly what they said or who sent it to me for sake of their privacy. I'm still figuring out how to respond to it. It's I don't like using the word archetype. I'm going to use it. Archetype of person that I've never thought I would encounter in the art field, because I've not encountered it ever before in like engineering, if that makes it. And here's the analogy. In engineering, I've met a bunch of super passionate people who try to do too much, burn themselves out, don't end up accomplishing what they want. They're very passionate people, but they don't know how to mediate themselves to where they're able to actually get to the making, right? Because engineering requires planning. It sucks sometimes because you just want to code, you just want to get into CAD and start making stuff, but you need some thorough planning, right? And so there's this subset of people I've encountered, including myself. I'm not throwing myself, that's why I don't like using the word archetype, because it makes it feel like this person is bound to this identity forever, which isn't true. But it's a person who's like very ambitious, wants to do all this stuff, and tries and just doesn't match it, I guess. Or I should say, doesn't match it with the right things. They don't meet. When rubber meets the road, their ambitions kind of falter. Because of the reality of the implications of things. I don't know. I'm saying a lot of words that don't really tie well together. Because I'm trying to be like careful. I don't want to make anyone feel like, oh, you're doomed. If you're a passionate person who for some reason or the other can't focus on this one thing, you're doomed. No, not at all. But like this is a common trend, and I've seen it in the art world. That's why I bring it up. Is I've seen this kind of person in engineering, and I've seen this kind of person in the art world, and I've been that person in both. But there's this other person who I've never been this person in the engineering world, and I've never been this person in the art world specifically because of my skill level in art, or at least my experience. But it's these people who are like get really, really, really at least okay. I'm not sure comfortable with the fundamentals, but they religiously study stuff. And I don't know the extent, because I've engaged with these people a couple of times, and they say, so I'm going to trust by what they say, that they've studied like all the fundamentals and all the art, like the color theory and gesture, and they've done all the courses and they've done all the things, and they've been drawing for like 5 years, suppose. But they lament that they can't draw what they want, which I don't really know. And this goes with what this person told me. While I won't do it, I think it could be helpful to like read out what this person sent me. But I'm firstly inexperienced, right? Like I haven't been this person. I haven't been doing art that long, only like 3 years at this point. So I'm not a very authoritative source. But one common trend I've heard amongst these people's stories is that they don't, and then this is going to sound very, very preachy, so I apologize. But they don't do much 50%, which I know sounds like Oh, here he goes again about 50%. How Drawbox is the best thing ever. And actually, I'm going to critique about how I've seen people look at Drawbox as well while I talk about this. It's a feeling the feeling that this person had, or at least I perceived, is one that resonated with me when I was very new to art, which is when I would sit down and I would have no idea what to draw. I'd be told to do 50%, and so I'd do like a scene that popped up in my head, but I was too scared to do anything substantial. Sure, I had goals and things I wanted to do with art, primarily express myself, but also maybe tell a story, write comics, whatever, but I had no medium, no vessel to do that. Hence why I think, the White Ibis is such a great thing. Shout out Truthless and Bear. Yeah, I just sat there and I was like, okay, I could draw V1, and eventually V1 became my White Ibis. Sounds like they don't want to have it come out worse than they imagined it. Exactly. So, they don't want to be critiqued, or not critiqued, but they don't want it to be flawed. And what's up, Mikau? Thank you for joining in. I feel like you're a great voice to have in this conversation. But yeah, this person specifically said that they are really good at critiquing others and finding faults in them and themselves. And while I'm not the biggest fan of this YouTuber, I actually can't remember his name. If it was from him, or maybe it's from Proco, which Proco's a great YouTuber and I love him. But he says, when theory outstrips performance, it can be dangerous, right? I can't remember who said that. I think it was Proco or the other YouTuber whose name I can't remember. But yeah, you like you can study theory so much that when you draw yourself, you're like, well, that's wrong. But since you haven't been drawing, you don't know how to correct it. There are some things you can only learn by just drawing and making those mistakes. Hope your day's going well, MCal. And so that's why I'm so grateful for characters like Gravel, like Outer Wilds, like Ultra Kill. Like these are my first White Ibises, my first characters that I used as a medium to get better at art, right? If I want to study perspective, then I'll do Gravel and perspective because I'm comfortable with drawing Gravel. I know how he works. I know all of the forms, the basic forms that make him up. And my litmus is if it doesn't look like Gravel in the end, then I've messed something up, right? That's kind of like the test. How can I make Gravel happen here? Right? How can I make V1 from Ultra Kill happen here? How can I make this comic work with Outer Wilds? And then this person asked me another very important question, and I get this one actually a lot for how few people will question me because I'm not popular. But when I do get questioned, this is a very common one: is Drawbox actually effective? There's layers because usually I feel like this question is a bit adversarial because it's usually pointed towards the 250 box and 250 cylinder challenge, and as a guy who has streamed Drawbox for almost 600 streams, totaling over 1,000 hours, right? We're past the 1,000-hour mark, right? I would be the first one to defend Drawbox, but I honestly just don't agree with the 250 cylinder challenge. And I feel like 250 boxes, maybe like 10% excessive, but this isn't a harp on uncomfortable. And in fact, despite my disagreement with these, I wouldn't tell him to change the 250 box challenge. Maybe I would tell him to change the 250 cylinder. But do I think Drawbox is still effective? 100%. I think Drawbox is effective as a medium for learning. A medium of helping you walk into like the arena of art. Drawbox isn't here to teach you everything or hold your hand through everything. I personally believe it exists to get the ball rolling, and that's it, really. It helps you start learning, and this is why it's called the tutorial zone, right? The tutorial world of art. How to teach yourself in art, how to start branching out and going and exploring things. Drawbox can be a little bit sparse in some segments. Like I would consider Lesson 2 relatively sparse, even though it's like a very updated and current thing. Because it wants you to struggle a little bit. It wants you to go out and figure it out for yourself. I would say, my greatest improvements in art beyond like lesson 5, because I do solely kind of attribute lesson 5 to probably some of the fastest and most noticeable growth I've had, is the drawings immediately after. Is the weird gravel and the white ibis stuff. And I was only able to do that because Drawbox gave me this small toolkit, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this toolkit, I'm gonna go play with it, and it's 50%. So if you want to be really technical, Drawbox is effective because 50% is effective. You could probably pick many other art programs, Proco, New Masters, any of like the courses that maybe like Zapata or Zeph Draws or Broken Draws have. They're probably excellent, amazing, maybe even comparably better to Drawbox. I don't know. I haven't taken them. But I feel like at the end of the day, they're going to give you concepts to practice, and then you ought to go draw on your own. And so that's why I think this person kind of posed that adversarial question to me, is they've just been doing the assignments. They've only been going out into their comfort zone. And this is an assumption on their behalf. I would like to ask them and like to confer with them. Is this what you've been doing, right? There's some people in Drawbox who I won't name specifically because I feel like it would be an insult to what I'm about to say, but this is no way an insult. Is they've had relatively rough starts. Not that their art quality was bad, but they were really struggling to complete the objectives of the Drawbox assignments. And man, seeing those people grow is so freaking crazy. Like, because these people, they're not just spamming Drawbox assignments. They're going out, they're doing their art, they're posting in art share, they're posting in traditional media, and well, that went well. And they're not lamenting the whole time. Sure, they may have their moments. I've had my moments where I'm like, oh my god, my art is crap. I hate this. We're only human. But man, those people improve so quickly. A person who I really look up to, and this isn't the same category of people, is Sadie. Sadie, she has done, I think she's up to lesson 5 now, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure. She's a very busy person. She's a very hard worker. She has plenty of life outside of Drawbox and streaming and whatever. And yet, for the time that she's dedicated to drawing, she's picked something that she's loved, which is horses, and she's used it as a vehicle to become so much. The amount of improvement I've seen from her almost makes me jealous. From her course on horses that she took with, I keep forgetting his name, Brent Evison, was it? Probably not. Maybe it was Brent's. I can't remember. Like the quality and improvement for the amount of time that she spent drawing, because I'm pretty sure she draws every day or something. I wish I could achieve that. It's extremely impressive. And once again, these are people who are taking the lessons and then stepping out into the scary real world of art where you just have a pen and a paper, no instructions, and doing it. And so to the artist that might have been just doing the fundamentals over and over again, and none of the 50% on the side drawing for the sake of itself, and like kind of exploring you as an artist rather than the textbook. None of it's lost time. Sure, it would have been ideal if we all started drawing perfectly. Right? But for example, there's people who only did 50% or only did drawing for the sake of play, never really studied the fundamentals. And not that that's a bad thing at all. You can totally do that. Just there may be some obstacles. There's no perfect way or singular way of pursuing art. So you're not late. You're not late to the party because of that. So that's my rant of today. I have to draft a very long and grammatically incorrect response to that one person. I appreciate messages like that. I need to make like a messaging, like a contact me on my personal website, because I do love engaging with people. It just takes me a while to formulate those thoughts and things, for as incorrect or correct as they may be. So we're gonna go do BRB real quick, everybody. You know the drill. And then we're gonna come back and work on our tape measure. I think we're gonna start our orthos today. So you're back. We're back. Cool, cool. My leg itches. I think there's like bugs invading my room or something. There was like a gnat earlier. I hate bugs when they invade my home. Actually, no, I hate small gnats like that hurt my plants and stuff. Would you say so? Like, I don't want to be like answer my question more directly, but like, what was the fun part? What was the pleasure part for you There's no right answer or wrong answer. I'm just genuinely curious as to what you found pleasurable. You know, what satisfied you in that process? Was it getting the idea from the head onto the page? Was it the act of refining it? Was it the act of refining to producing it? Or was it all of the above? None? I'm just curious. I'm not trying to like pry once again. Or I am trying to pry, but not in like a backhanded way, if that's possible. I'm curious as to what you find interesting in that medium of art. And while MCow does MCow, don't worry. Like, if you have something more important to do, don't worry about entertaining me. You could be very concise or curt and just be like, yes, no. Like, I don't want to like waste your time, like distracting you or anything. But I do appreciate your responses. I find them to be very well thought out. So yeah, we are continuing this guy. Look at that tape measure. A lot of our measurements are going quite well. Pretty happy with them. I guess I was doing my math. Actually, yeah, I'm still confused about like why my math was so weird at that time. Also, I forgot to talk about this on stream. Maybe Staedtler Mars Technico with the blue lead. I think this is my new go-to sketching pen. It erases well. Very smooth. Not as smooth as this, but like it's like probably 30 times cheaper. I think. Wait. 15 times cheaper, I think. Whatever. This is $5. This was like each one of these is like 13 cents or 30 cents. Ish. Yeah, this was like, what did I say, $7 ish? And like the entire box of these was I think a little bit more expensive, but there's a ton in here. And then of course I got one of these because I hate sharpening by hand. And this is awesome. I love this. I don't know how to clean it. You probably just like pop it off or something. This is excellent. I love this thing. I don't really care for the little foam thing right here because I would just rather clean it off on my arm. But this is awesome. So I recommend this more than the Cran d'Ac, or however you pronounce that. Ach. I don't know. Just because of price. It's excellent. I'm skipping that song. So, let's get started, guys. Let me make sure Twitch stuff is going all well. Yay. Okay. So, sticky note. The important sticky note. Oh yeah, also, I was a sidebar from all the art philosophy and nerding out. I'm going to sneeze first. Never mind. Oh, it's right there. I feel it. Oh my god. My interview yesterday. That was a tough interview. I would not say it was easy. It was definitely better than I expected. I was expecting like they would force me to code in Rust or something I've never programmed in before or seen. And I would just like be like, okay, I'm done. I can't do that. Bye. And just like leave the call. That was my worst case scenario. Thankfully, it was very much not that. It's a good interview. I can't find. I had a pen where I was like writing down notes, and I didn't realize how nervous I was. But halfway through the interview, there's a huge snap, and I'm not sure if it picked up on my mic, but I snapped like not only just like the little clip on it off, but part of the head. Ideas are nice to internally explore in the imagination, but it's only temporary. When I am able to capture that moment and put it down, realizing what it actually is incredibly satisfying. Sometimes I just write out random intuitive lines using voice leading practices, and I might find something I enjoy that I hadn't considered before. Of course, these are also things I don't have fully realized in my head, but under the pressure of a deadline, so I gotta just put down and just deal with it. I can fix it later. Yeah, no project's ever truly finished, and we are forced to make, we could probably sit on an art project for 100 years and still be, oh, it's not done yet. But yeah, so the process of exploring ideas, not just having them, but exploring them. I'm gonna add, so MCal, I'm working on my blog post about like the art philosophies that I love. There's one I'm gonna write down to remember. This one isn't by Broken Draw, it's by, get out of here. Thank you. This one is by another YouTuber, I'll try to find him. It is the concept of exploring the page, which is, I think, kind of in parallel with the idea of exploring an idea. Parallel to the idea of exploring, whatever. It's whenever you start executing an idea on page, it's invariably going to change because your brain, and I don't have any science to back this up, but I feel like it's an informed opinion, which is your brain doesn't truly like have everything mapped out. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to like critically think, right? You could just do. Instead, your ideas are this kind of like nebulous, ephemeral thing that you have to figure out. And a lot of beginner artists, and myself including, had this notion that, the best artists have the entire idea planned out in their heads, and they just put it on the page. No, it's not about drawing what's exactly in your brain. What even is that? I wish. And so this idea of reacting to the page is whenever you're starting to put stuff down on the page, things, man, this music is just not the vibe tonight. Whenever you have to start putting stuff on the page, you have to react to it. Your pen will move the wrong direction, or you finally realize, oh shoot, even though I executed this technically correct, right? Like this box is correct in perspective, I don't like how it plays with this other feature on that page. So you have to react to it, right? That is something that I need to include in my little philosophy blog post. I still need to figure out a silly name to title it, because I don't want to be like Philosophy Volume 1. That sounds too pompous. I want something silly. Who knows, though? For now, let's focus on this tape measure. Where did we last leave off? What makes the drawing go burr? Exploring, testing, watching those puzzle pieces fall together one by one. It's like a freaking gambling machine. It's like Bejeweled. That's what it feels like whenever you finally have everything lined up and everything just explodes. My paper is on fire. No. Flow from a lips. Oh yeah, that note. Trying to figure out if we're missing anything here, but I think we largely have it. Where's my tape measure? There is this thing, but that we could lie about. It ends like in the middle here, which would be that's 1/8, so that's 3/16. This question mark looks like a 2, and that kind of threw me off. This is going to be fun to draw. It could be obscured in perspective, though, ironically. I guess we can do this whole lip thing. That would be cool, including the blade. I mean, that's the point, right, of a tape dispenser, is to slice the tape. I think the easiest way to go about this, oof, God, it's a thick 2-dimensional, or like there's like 2 points right here. Oh, we had to decide the size of the outer tape. I remember. We had the options of either making it exactly this size, which is I think I called it like a 1/4 or something. Not a fourth. Is that a sixth? That is a sixth. Sixth here and sixth here, which translates to a fourth, half of a fourth, and eighth. Yeah, an eighth over here. So it'd be like there, like this. But I didn't like the fact that it ended there when it so clearly goes over. So if we made it go over by a 16th over here, then we're going to make it go over by a 12th up here. And we had to make that decision. Which I'm not totally opposed to. It is more lines to consider. Ooh, we can use a 12th here to define this. And that goes over here. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do a 12th, guys. Oh, wait, no. Yes, no. No. What? Uh-oh. I have realized a problem. If we... if we wanted to make the radius 3/8 in the x direction, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. It's Minecraft. If we wanted to make it 3/8, and how we're gonna do thickness for this? This is gonna be so tough, guys. We could do the same thing we did for the speaker construction, which is to find an arbitrary interior length and then mirror it. So we would have our square here, and then along our diagonal, we'd pick like right here, and then just mirror that to here and here. And that would define our interior, and I think that's probably the best way of going about it. I'm not sure if that's against any rules, but... right? Maybe MCal's in the chat. Is that against rules to kind of like have arbitrary points that we kind of just decide on the fly? He did it in the speaker demo, but who knows if that's actually allowed. I feel like I feel like I read something that our friend Canoe. Yeah, let's pause and read the Discord real quick. Just to scan. I think I mentioned something about it on my speaker demo. Forgot how long ago that was because of the winter break. I was moving for a moment. I didn't catch what you meant by arbitrary. Here, I'll do a... Well, okay, this is going to look really crappy, but this is how I'm going to have to do it. I hope you can bear with me. So suppose we have like some square in our ortho, right? And we subdivide it. Are we allowed to be like, oh, well, I need a smaller square, so I'll just pick an arbitrary point, and then kind of like for the speaker demo when you're told to do the inset of the button. And ideally, you know, these would connect. This point is completely arbitrary, defined by me, because I didn't want to actually like find a measurement inside of it. I'm just gonna mess with this now. Yeah, we could be very neurotic and like subdivide until we get there, but yo, what's up, Dio? That's allowed. I haven't seen them marking people down for it. Oh shoot, okay, huge. Thank you very much. You saved us some time here, MCal. You're a legend. Here, I'm gonna take a sip of water. How's it going, Dio? Oh no, we're into the 2D world. We've always been. It's a grand lie. We've convinced you that the papers are 3D or that the screen is 3D. Because I felt like it. It's some chill music. You know, we've been listening to music from all kinds of games. But Undertale struck a chord with you. What the heck? God dang it. Here, give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. We're back. Toby Fox lo-fi win. Toby Fox could create the best-selling lo-fi album of the world. Because we like the first year of us streaming, I played lo-fi and it was like royalty-free lo-fi. No hate on royalty-free, but I mean, come on. You know, royalty-free music versus Tyler the Creator, right? there's a difference, right? And so I got very burned out of lo-fi. And like AI generated lo-fi is so hard to distinguish from like legitimate lo-fi nowadays. So it's either use trusted channels or you just play video game music that you know was made by humans. Kavel, if it sounds just the same, why do you care? Because I don't want to support it. I don't want to make them think they can get away with this. Oh wait, no, I actually love AI, guys. I need those sponsorships. Okay, let's get back here. Cool. So, yeah, my issue here is if we go 3/8 above, and draw a line from the top of it, we should be hitting this, the edge, which goes down a little bit. But then that's like this. But if this overlaps, you have the tape cartridge in the center overlaps the outside. If we went 3/8 out, we would. But since we're no longer 3/8 out, we're like less than an eighth out, we'd be right here, which is definitely not overlapping it. And this is all because we had a compromise over here. So we have to make more compromises. And I'm not sure how I want to go about that. Wait a second. No. Because the tangent would be if this was circumscribed instead of a square. I guess the best option... I'm going to do very lightly what an ellipse would look like right here. And see, that just seems too small to me. If we go up here, that seems a little bit too large. But I would rather not divide things any more than a half if I could avoid it. Also, Dio, I forgot to answer. I'm doing okay. I'm alive. How are you doing? You know what? I jive with the outer one. So we're going to do a 12th. Bored. Looking to buy something online. Ooh, what are you looking to buy? Have you heard of the game Marathon? Oh, it has come out today. Not come out, but the server rumble or whatever it's called is jewelry. For me? No, I'm kidding. What jewelry are you looking for? For yourself? For your partner? For you? Heck yeah. What are you looking for? Rings? Earrings? Necklaces? I was gonna say after the Valentine's Day purchase. So this will be 1/16 over here. Which will help us set up that 1/32, which actually may be a little bit close. Uh-oh. You want to do 64th? Who knows? I don't know, watches, necklace. Should get yourself an ankle bracelet. You want to rock one of those? It's a good amount to spend for a watch, man. I don't know. So I'm a crazy, okay, not a crazy practical person. I do have some stupid purchases, but like my philosophy is I have my phone. So do I ever need to buy an alarm clock? No. Do I ever need to buy a clock or a watch? No, because I have my phone. Do I ever need to buy a flashlight? Yes, in case of emergency, but otherwise I have my phone. Do I need new shoes? No. The ones I have are perfectly fine, even though they're like 3 years old. Right? Your phone is cool looking. I mean, it's in my pocket. Other than that, it's a black slab. Nothing too. I'm not a person for looking cool. I wear literally the same outfit, or I try to at least every single day. It is a monocolor T-shirt with black gym shorts and white tennis shoes. Watch makes you look professional and classy. I'm neither of those. I feel like I wouldn't want to lie to people, Give them a false impression of who I am. That's just not me. Next construction, we need to do like a bottle or something. Something that's very cylindrical. I have a lamp, but that'd be a bit lame. It's a very lame looking lamp. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh yeah, for this, sorry. We're yeah. For our next construction. Because this isn't very cylindrical. It's still rather boxy, even though it has tons of curves. I think Uncomfortable wants us to pursue cylindrical things to test out our ability to clock minor axes. All that stuff. So the tape dispenser itself has little gaps right here. Set multiple alarms 20-minute intervals starting earlier than I would normally wake up. I've heard that's very bad for your health. It's worse than, I mean, yeah, it is just worse. I have one alarm. I've had the same one alarm for the past 10 years on the same app. Why don't I get it? Because whenever you draw a circle in perspective, I actually have those, but it's not the right size. And these are like pre-sketches. These are this is not meant to be definitive. Let's see if I did this perfectly. Yeah, that would work. We could do this as eighths as well. And let's choose mirrored distances from these for the gaps. About it. Zircle. Zircle. That makes sense. I can get behind that one. What is square in German? The shape. Time to get ready here. Time to get ready. What is time to get ready? Oh, look, this is the bug. This is the bug that's been in my apartment all day. I'm gonna nuke it. Quadrat? I'm sorry. I get it. It is quad. You get points for that. Actually, no. Yep, quadrat works. I'll accept it. It passes. How do we want to do the little offshoots here? Question. Trying to think of an efficient way of doing that. They go outwards from the initial circle. 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 Let's go. So for here. For this thing, we're going to have our exterior here. Hey, there you go. It's funny because my roommate does the same thing and he still sleeps in. My former roommate, I should say. Where did that bug go? Dude, this bug's gonna get clapped on string. Not in a weird way. But yeah, I've had one alarm for the past 10 years, and it makes me do math whenever I wake up. Draic, which means 3 corners. I can, you know what? Sure. I'll take it. Okay, that gives us these. So from there, we'll have our circle that we'll use. I'm the German teacher. No, it's great to know these things. What if I have more German-speaking viewers? And they're like, what are you drawing? And I'll be like, es gibt eine, what is it? Dreieck. Eine Dreieck mit einer Zirkel und eine, what was, Quadrat. Yep. I know, you probably pronounce the R differently, but I don't know. I once had a seed bug in my apartment that vacuumed up, releasing it outside. I'm sorry, but when it comes to these guys, they hurt my plants, and I just freaking, I don't care. When it comes to weevils, I'll take them outside. Spiders, I'll take them outside. But those little guys, the gnats, as we call them, they're gone. No more. I'm gonna use a red pencil to, or no, let's do green pen to indicate, no, blue. Blue pen to indicate arbitrarily chosen lines. No, what I put there. People that release spiders are a bit weird to me. Are you not a fan of spiders? I like spiders. I think they're cool. Oh, dude, I'll nuke wasps. And we'll do a mirroring technique for this guy. Making like a preliminary ortho right here. I kill anything I see. Does Germany have mosquitoes? Probably not. Does Europe have mosquitoes? Who in Europe has mosquitoes? Does Europe have mosquitoes? Kavel Googles. Yes, they're common. Mostly in Italy. Makes sense. I don't know. You guys just don't give mosquito vibes. Arthropod Doom guy. Poor little bugs. Yeah, I feel like at the very top of my list are mosquitoes. They're gone. I will actively go out of my way to kill them. Other bugs, I'll be like, you know, if it's the bugs I don't want to take outside, I'll generally just like kind of let them be. Mosquitoes are gone instantly. Then again, because they are the only ones that like pose an immediate threat, or any like common bug. And if like there's a common bug that poses a greater threat, like a type of like very dangerous spider or something, I don't want the smoke. Do we have stink bugs? I do have stink bugs. However, I think we talked about this another stream ago. I've never like, do they actually stink? I've never had a stink bug and been like, oh wow, that smells. It's not that noticeable to me. Yes, they stink. Huh. I've killed them before. I've never noticed it. The cats, that I've owned cats, and they've sniffed stink bugs and they make faces, but I don't smell it. Yeah. I know like a lot of biologists are like every animal has its purpose. I understand that. But like if we nuked all mosquitoes, what's the purpose do they serve? Who eats mosquitoes? What's the purpose? Malaria, so it could spread malaria around? Like Yeah. So yeah. I know that's why they're called, but like once again, never encountered a stinky bug. I've had stink bugs, I should say, at my home. I've never found them that way. Want to know a bug that's weirdly high on my tier list? I'm not gonna say it's an A or an S tier, but cicadas. And you're like, whoa, Kavel, what? In fact, I've claimed that cicadas are devil incarnate because they are. If you've ever stepped on a cicada on accident or like been close to one and it goes at you, it's like it'll literally like fly at you, making the worst noise in the world. It's a jump scare bug. I hate it, and they can be bad for crops and whatever. But I love their noise in the summer. Cicada, yeah. Here, I will show you a cicada. We will do some YouTubing right now as a treat, as a reward. Man, okay, Artwad, I get that you're like an awesome, influential person. Uh, oh, someone commented on my lesson 2 video. Huge. I know Artwad, but like, I don't know, his thumbnails have been disappointing me. Those buzzing sounds, yeah. Let me see if I can find like a funny cicada video. Cicada jump scare. Okay, here. This could be very loud, and I would like to warn you guys. These are the kind of cicadas that I've encountered. Give me a second. I'm gonna really try to make this not as loud for you guys. Oh, that would have been so loud. Okay, prepare your ears. I'm warning you now, turn down your volume. Yeah, I guess. A really good way of cropping this without it looking weird. World's slowest YouTuber. Huh? Did I just crop my pure off? I didn't mean to do that. Oh, give me a second. Okay, this is not going well. Dang it. Sorry, pure F. There we go. These guys. Okay, let's see how loud this is going to be. Once again, warning. Loud. Oof. Cicadas are just demons, dude. They're cute. They're cute as hell. But like, come on, man. Really? He's inspecting it like a CS:GO knife. So yeah, that's a cicada. For all of those, yeah. Male mosquitoes are pollinators. Mosquitoes are good food for. I don't care. You're lying. Actually, that's big mosquito propaganda. I'm kidding. Uh, it sucks that they have an ecological niche, right? Like they have a purpose. Get out of here with that. What terrible demons of the night. I will never accept a mosquito in my home. If my daughter, if my son ever brings home a mosquito partner, I will yell at them. I'll say, "Get out of here!" I'll throw stuff at him, try swatting at him. I'll never accept a mosquito in my home. A cicada? I don't know. Still, their entire purpose is to be annoying. Agreed. Despite their attempts. Okay. To have purpose. I don't know. Not really commendable. Alrighty, we're back. So yeah, we have most of the circle finished. I have to figure out how we're gonna do the little clip right here. Herb. And also, it doesn't go fully inside. It stops at what I'm going to say is the halfway point of right here. But to do this, the object, we draw it out really quickly. set up like this. Right? Does cicada bite or sting? I think they bite, maybe? I typically try to stay as far away from them as possible. They do not bite or sting humans, as they lack the mouth parts to do so and are harmless to people. That's what the AI overview says. Let's see if okay, Reddit says they do not bite humans or animals. Orkin.com says cicadas do not bite humans unless they are allowed to remain on someone long enough to mistake a part of their human body for a part of a plant. Cicada Mania says cicadas do not sting or bite and they are not venomous. However, their legs can be slightly prickly and with the right amount of fear mixed with imagination. Okay, they're just going on. So, generally, no. It seems like the consensus is no. I have a video. If I had it with me, I would show it on stream. It's me in my house looking for a mosquito that got inside. I'm like looking for it. And I'm like, where is it? And then they say, oh, I think it's gone. And then I step and you could hear a crunch and then a mosquito, a cicada screaming. Bumblebee? Really? Bumblebees are so adorable. Are you allergic? When Reddit is more reliable than AI. Honestly, yeah. Even though, wasn't there that whole thing where like a lot of Redditors are AI bots? And Reddit was not happy about that fact. I'm not sure how true that is, but very funny if true. Okay, so let's deploy techniques that we know. Part of me doesn't even want to include the gaps right here, but it's so noticeable that we ought to. I think the easiest way for us to do this is to actually draw the square as well on the other side and connect the dots. That is probably the easiest way of going about this. For the actual flange, because this is on top of, this is technically curved, a more accurate representation would be like this. Or, I mean, technically less accurate because it's very, but yeah, so something like that. Bumblebees are so cute. I saw one for the first time a while ago. I can't remember where. Because we have a different kind of bee where I live. It was rare to see bumblebees. Just don't have with their nest. Oh yeah. I think that goes without talking. Without speaking out. So we have basically like this whole part set for us. How do we make it taller? Well, we can easily have a cutoff here, right? So that's where it meets back there. Man, I don't know how to parse this reaction to bumblebees. They're so cute. Have you ever been scorned in your life by a bumblebee? What is the origin of this fear? We're gonna use mcow slice method. That is the official name of it for the see how this thing like gets the size changes. Also, I just really no. Okay. Yeah, this is longer than this. So it's always going to be bigger than the tape that's in it. Weird. I guess if it's sliding, whatever. I guess the only real way of doing this is to do the drop down method. Yeah, and then I have 2 points right here and right here. I hate how they fly into you and they are so big and but like I don't know. The image of a bumblebee running into me is like boing, like you know, boing, like they're so tiny. They're not gonna hurt you. Okay. This is a personal take, so take it with what you will. As a person who messes with bugs a lot, like I go out of my way, to I mean relative like they're like this little guys. Man, I have a video of a leaf-footed bug that you would hate to see. I love but yeah, I play with bugs a lot. Whenever I find them, which is weird. But like bugs are so docile. And they just want to run. They don't want to mess with you, right? They're built like bees on steroids. Yeah, they are flower addicts. In fact, oh wait, yes, that's where I recorded a bumblebee last spring, or no, last August. And it was on a flower, and I was about to try to touch it. Oh, it's this song. I have to skip it because lyrics. Here, wait. Do I try to find that video? Not right now. Maybe at the end of the stream. Actually, I'm not sure if Dio will be here by the end of the stream, but they don't want any smoke. Yeah. That's why, man, I love grasshoppers. I love finding them. But getting them to stay in your hand is really difficult because they'll just jump off no matter what. No matter how you grab them, no matter how gentle you are, they'll just jump away. I'm like, oh. But they're cool. I like those guys. I liked them until Bear taught me that they actually puke as a defense mechanism, which is kind of gross. And I've always kind of been like, about touching them after that. But I still play with them. They're cool. Okay, so the height of this thing is, so this is going to be another relative decision. The height is going to be like, we're going to have two random heights. Or maybe yeah, so not that. And we'll just do the X method. That'll be a derived one. Me and my friend had a competition who could find the biggest. I was gonna say fire. Find the biggest grasshoppers. Dude, I love how big they get. Worldview shattered. I was actually kind of disappointed. But it's good to know. You know, when you mess with bugs, it's good to know what they can do. Right? I mean, yeah. That's gonna be divided in half. So we'll have this and this. And that will form the basis for our thing. And then we'll have to do a top-down method to get the back of it. Which will also be arbitrary. So that will be, we'll leave a note for ourselves. Arbitrary thickness for tape dispenser flange. Nice. And the thickness is in, we're gonna do it like this. Picture is worth 1,000 words, guys. That thickness. My favorite bug is probably our roly-polies. Roly-poly is a good pick. Just whenever they roll up, what are you gonna do about it? You know, they're just kind of little balls now. My favorite bug right now is definitely leaf-footed bug. They're giant, and they're giant gentle giants. That's the word. They're so cute. They're so silly. They go blip, 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 blip. I'll show a picture on stream. They are kind of gross looking, so I do apologize if this freaks anybody out. This is a warning. I'm about to put a relatively creepy looking bug on screen. Here we go. Yeah. These guys look so cool. Here's a good picture. Praying mantis. Oh, I saw a baby praying mantis at my home the other day, or a long time ago. This was in the summer. My family was like, you gotta come see this. I was like, what? Better be important. Yeah, so this is a leaf-footed bug. I love them a bunch. They are really silly. They're harmless, I think. Or like maybe, I think they are like maybe venomous, but they don't do anything to humans. That's the same picture. Yeah. Here's another picture of these guys. I've plenty of pictures on my phone of like these guys in my hand because they're like, you know, they're about the size of like right here in your palmish. Deal was the bug. He's the bug. Shout out leaf-footed bugs. Oh wait, this is a really cute picture. You're right. You're gonna be like, cute, Kavel? Are you insane? This guy. There's no thoughts. There's no thought. There's no room for a brain. The bug guy. But yeah, I love leaf-footed bugs. They're cute. And they don't try to run it. They do kind of try to run away from you when you're trying to grab them. I think that's called survival instinct, but they're cool nonetheless. Alrighty. Why do 1/32 right there? That should be 1/16. Oh, I was talking. I messed it up. 1/16. Cool. Nice. I'm gonna leave a note. Green is gonna be side notes. We're gonna leave a side note here. Use slice method for tape wheel and varied tape cover size. So what does that look like? We want a box for a tape. We're gonna have a slice in here for the tape wheel. The tape cover, I should say. That's the slice right there. And then the wheel inside as well. A video footage of a stink bug trying to find a way to get down from a table in your school's practice building. You know, that's why we're calling this the MCOW. Oh, method when I'm cooking. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Yeah. I probably wasn't paying attention to something, and now we're a little bit lost in that regard. Okay, I think that's almost everything except for that. How are we going to figure this out? Ay. Because we have a lot of stuff happening over here. Let's not overcomplicate it for ourselves. Okay. So we don't want to get too specific because we're very zoomed in right now, right? I think what I want to do is cry, and then this. Set up a middle line. We don't actually need the X's here. That could just be done here for the 16th. Sometimes. Crying can help with drawbox assignments. I think you get bonus points or something. I'm joking, by the way. You start vehicle demos? Wow, heck yeah, Cal. Best of luck. Oh, I'm tired, man. Ugh. I have a lot of homework to do tonight. Okay. But then it's Friday. I don't know. Me saying that reminded me of that video of the dude who's like, "It's my birthday today," and he has his like wife right next to him, and people duet that video with like a ton of stuff, like he's holding her hostage. It's crazy. This sounds crazy out of context. Very funny video. Go look it up. I actually don't look up man holds wife hostage on his birthday. That may not be a good idea, but it's very funny. I promise. If I was like a gaming or like a variety streamer, I would totally look that up right now, but we're focused. These do have knurled, not knurled, just curved edges, so that may be something to consider. Curved edges. Maybe we do a little bit of relative line work. February has 27 days. I'm very excited for the 27th of February because Gorillas is releasing a animated short. I can't remember if it's a short movie, short film, whatever. Very excited for that because The Mountain is a very good album so far from what they've released. Let's play. You know, everybody, it is Gorilla's Eve, so let's play The Mountain one last time before tomorrow. We're probably going to be listening to tomorrow as well, but please indulge me as we listen to one of my favorite bands and some of the music of the. This is going to be a bit higher energy, so I hope you can accept that. But yeah, let's get started here for The Mountain. It releases, guys. It releases in 4 hours. Oh, let's go! Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I guess it's 4 hours. Like the big time. You know, whatever. Anyways, we have to go to singles. Yeah. Okay. We'll play some of my favorites. Yeah. It's gonna be 5 a.m. You better be up. No, I'm kidding. And that means whenever you wake up in the morning, you'll be blessed to hear. Oh, I thought I was gonna play. Damn it. That's so embarrassing. Whatever. I was gonna be like when it goes off. Anyways, we're gonna turn this up. We're gonna stop talking. Focus up a little bit. All that good stuff. I tried turning it up, but it actually like audio is not changing that much. Trying to decide how I make the thickness for this. Okay, this isn't the best way to do it, but I have an idea. I'm kind of leveraging a lot of the guessing lines. Anyways, let's go to my second favorite song. This one's long. Get ready. This is basically two songs in one. Dang it. I was trying to make two lines that are nobly orthogonal to each other, but that's not how this works. Only if it's square. Frick. I could think of a way of doing it, but it's very complicated, I think. Oh, gotcha. I wanted to be a bit loud, but maybe it's too loud. Well, we'll just turn it up a little bit then. Hmm. Oh, but it's Gorillaz. Get it. This isn't a good way of doing it. This is barely an increase, but yeah, whatever. We want something that is basically 45 degrees, but you can't make a square like this unless we actually go in there. We know that this is an eighth, so if we separated an eighth from right here, we brought that down. But that's an arbitrary number. That's 15/24, which is just the halfway point between the 2/3 and the 7/12, which is also derived from the 2/3 and the 1/2. Oof. And it's 15/24. Awesome. That's one of my favorites. I'm gonna head to my current favorite, which is Orange County's The Hardest Thing. We're gonna skip the Tony Allen one, even though it's great. It's just I only want to play one of these, and if I had to, it's this one. This one I'm gonna play loud, and then we'll call it. This is kind of not whatever. Another one. We'll do all the others are a little bit more energetic, so I ought to be careful. Let's do Idaho. Idaho from I can't remember what album it is. I have to scroll. I can't remember the name of the album. I guess I should say. Then now. Yeah. Then now, sorry. This math works. Yes. Yay, we found it. And we'll just make these parallel by guesstimation. Where'd I put my cap? Cool. Well, that marks it for today, everybody. I think we made some excellent progress on these two and just finishing that up. We just have the side views today, tomorrow, which will be probably a little bit easier. Sadly, we didn't get to go to the orthos, but hey, I'm gonna take my time. Yeah, that's everything. I have a lot of homework to do tonight, so we're gonna call it here. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, MCow Dio. I'm not sure if anyone else joined, so I missed them. Yeah, I think those are ready. But yeah, sincerely, thank you, MCal and Dio. Hope you two have a wonderful night. Best of luck in your jewelry hunting endeavors and in all of your homework and vehicle constructions. I will see you guys tomorrow with the unveiling of the new Gorillaz album. Hopes are high. And with that being said, thank you once again for watching, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.